Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. So today I'll be showing you how to draft a corset pattern for a beginner. So guys, let's get started. To start, I'll be folding my pattern paper into two and I'll be drafting my basic bodice pattern, which is I'll be placing the bust point measurement, the under bust measurement, the waist measurement, and as well as the top length. So for the top length, I'll be using 22 inches together with my sewing allowance. So afterwards, I'll be drawing a straight line across those points. So the bust point I'm working with is 10.5, the under bust is 14 inches, the waist is 16 inches, and as well as the top length is 22 inches. So after that, I'll be placing my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5. And on that 7.5, I'll be coming down by 1 inches. I'll just mark the 3 inches normal standard we normally use, and I'll be connecting it to form a slope. Actually, we don't need this upper part. I'm just showing you like the drafting. So I'll just go up by 2 inches from my bust point, and that line will serve as our chest line. So I'll be connecting it down to the chest line, and that will serve as the armhole line. So guys, I'll be placing so here I'm just labeling it: the chest line, the bust point, the under bust, the waistline, and as well as the top length. So the next I'll be doing is that I'll be placing the bust measurement, which is 9 inches. So I'll just connect it to my armhole just the way we do. This is a basic bodice. So after that, I'll be placing the nipple to nipple measurements. For this, it is actually 3.5, and I'll be picking the point all over the lines, and then I'll be connecting my dots together. So after connecting my dots, I will place my tape rule to measure whatever I'm having from the bust point to the under bust, and I'll be using that to make a circle all round. I'll just continue doing that, and I'll just be using my tape rule to mark 3.5 inches, because what I'm having is 3.5 inches, and I'll just be using it to, make a circle all around. I know here you guys might actually be wondering that it is reaching the front. Don't worry, you don't need to panic. You just have to continue doing what you're doing. So after that, on the under bust, I'll be going in on both lines by 1 inches each. So I'll be going in by 1 inches on both sides. And after that, I'll be going down from the bust point by half of an inch or 1 inch. You can decide whatever you want, but for me, I'll be going down by half of an inch. I'll be extending the line to reach where the circle is, and I'll be connecting the line together just the way I'm doing it. So guys, after connecting the line on this particular side, I'll be going in by half of an inch towards the center and 1.5 inches towards the armhole. Please note that, guys. So the next thing I'll be doing is that I'll be using my cuff to connect my under bust to the bust line, the bust point I just made, and I'll be using my cuff to connect it. and I'll be connecting it downward as well using my marker, so as for you guys to see. So guys, so here I'll just use my pen to just connect it to the bust point, just like that. So guys, for the firmness upward, like I want the bust part to be very firm, so I'll be going inward by 1/4 of an inch on both sides, and I'll be using my cuff to connect it just the way I did earlier. So as well, I'll be extending my line upward by just like 1/2 of an inch, just for more coverage upward. I just want it to cover, I don't want to be showing too much of skin, so I'll just go up by 1/2 of an inch. Just extend the line 1/2 of an inch, and I'll be connecting it to the bust point. So I just use my curve. If you don't have a curve, you can just use your free hand or anything if you are good with it actually. So the next thing to do is that on the center line, I will go down by 1/2 of an inch. This is optional. You can decide to remain there or not. Okay, so I'll go in by 1/2 of an inch as well. So this is optional. You can decide to leave it at that chest line, or you decide to, go down by more than that. But for me, I'll just go down by 1/2 of an inch. And the next thing I'll be doing is that I'll be using my cuff to just connect it just the way I'm doing so. So the next thing I'll be doing is that I'll go ahead and measure the distance between the armhole cuff and the armhole line, whatever it is here. I will divide it by 2. I'll mark that point, and from that point I'll go down by 1/2 of an inch. So from that new point, I'll use my cuff to connect it to the underbust. So if you don't have a curve, like I said earlier, you can decide to use your free hand if you're good with it. So guys, the next thing we'll be doing is just to use your cuff to close um the top like that, and I'll be using my cuff to connect the lines there too. So the next thing, I'll just form a straight line, and that will be my new armhole line. So the next you'll be doing is just to be placing your body measurements plus the one you took out. So I'll measure what I took out there. It is 3 inches, and I'll replace it. Now replace it there just like that. Now put my sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inches. I'll go to the under bust, the waistline as well. The waist is 8 inches. I'll put my 8 inches. I'll measure whatever it is there, which is 2 inches. I'll put it. Then I'll put my 1.5 inches sewing allowance, and I'll do that for the hip, like the top length as well. I'll be putting 10 inches, then plus 2 inches for the that I took out, and I'll add the 1.5 inches sewing allowance as well, and I'll be connecting my dots together. I'm just using my cuff to just to smoothing the cuff out, like to smooth the line out, just because I don't want any sharp edge. So here I'll be going up by 2 inches, 2.5 inches rather, and I will connect it down just to give it this curve at the side. So I'll be labeling my cup. So this will be the center front and as well as the side front, so that when I'm sewing it will be easier for me. And the next thing for us to do is just to cut it out. So guys, while cutting it out, I will just cut out the side because I'll be using the front to cut out my back just for it to be easier. So guys, if you actually cut the upper part well, you can actually use it for yoke, but actually this tutorial is not about yoke at all, so I will not be mentioning that, and I'll not be even be cutting it out in a yoke form. So I'll just cut it. So guys, I'll be placing my front on top of another um, drafting paper. So this is for the back. As you can see, I'm just placing it directly. I'm not adding any extra allowance for the zipper because this is not with zipper, it is the one with the loophole. So I will not actually add anything. So I'll just mark the important lines I'll be needing. I'll basically just mark everything out just for it to be easier for me. So I'll just mark it out just like that. So as you can see, I'm just knowing, like noticing, sorry, I'm just like pointing out the important line that I'll be needing, and the next thing I'll be doing is that I'll just be ruling out those lines just like that. So after doing that, I'll go ahead and place my measurement, like my bust measurement plus the sewing allowance, which is 1.5. So it will be 9 plus 1.5, which will give us 11.5. Sorry, it will give us 10.5. So here I'm just placing my waist measurement without adding an allowance, which is 8. I'll just rule this part out, and I'll be placing the 10 inches as well. So guys, I'll be marking my darts here. I forgot. So I'll be marking my 3.5 inches, and I'll be connecting the straight line just like that to the chest line. So I'll be marking half of an inch on both sides, and I'll be connecting it. I'll just connect it. Okay, so after that, I'll start placing my measurements, which is the waist plus my allowance, which is 1.5, the hip measurements plus the 1 inches for the dart and 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. And I'll be connecting my lines together just like that. So I'll be going down by half of an inch for the back, for the neck back, or for the back neck rather. For the back neck, and I'll just use my ruler or curve, anything you want. You just use it to smooth it out because I just want my back to, to have to kind of be lower. So guys, here you can see I'm just placing my front just to check if everything is in line and in shape. So the next thing I'll be doing is that before cutting my back out, I will just want to like be sure of what I'm having. So I'll be placing my measurement. I'll just be measuring this side out. I'm having 11.5. I'll place it on the front as well. I'm having 11.5, so I'm sure that it is correct. So I'm placing my bust measurement like so. I'm just cross checking rather. I'm just cross checking. So while cross checking, I noticed that it is not up to what I want. So I will just add the remaining one. So I think it's short in half of an inch. So I'll just be connecting it like so. And the next thing for me is I'll just cut it out like that. So guys, I'm done with my drafting. So the next thing I'll be doing is that I'll be cutting out my front pattern as well. Please note the way I'm cutting it so that it'll be easier for you too if you want to cut yours. And guys, let me just say this, don't forget to label your corset cup. It is very important because if you don't label it, you can make mistake by placing the side that is not for each other. You can just mistakenly place the wrong side on each other and it will cause a lot of problems. So it's better for you to label it so that it will be easier for you while um while cutting your fabric. So guys, I'll just be placing it like this. You can see the way it's looking. This is the center front and the side front, and this is our back. And for the back, I'll be folding it in like up to the dart point. Sorry guys, I didn't actually show you. It will be up to the dart point. Actually, I'll later do it off camera. I'll just cut it up to the dart point. So for this part, I'll just use my sellotape. You can use a sellotape or any tape just to hold it because I don't want any sewing or joining there, so that when I'm cutting my fabric out, it will come out in one piece, like one piece. So guys, I've already cut out my fabric here. As you can see, this is on fold. This one I'm holding right now is on fold, and it is one piece. For the center front and the side front, I'll be cutting out two pieces each, you can see. And for the back as well, I'll be cutting out two pieces. So guys, that will be all for the drafting. I'll be sharing a video on how to sew it as well, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me if you'll be making this as well in the comment section. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.